Are you wondering if it's the right time to buy, or are you wondering if it's the right time to sell? Well, here in New Jersey, the market is really heating up. It's interesting to say the least. And what we need to do is go through the data to help you figure out where you are in the situation. Hi, I'm Jeff Massey, your local realtor here in the area, and I'd love to share this with you. So let's get into the PDF and show you what's going on with the March 2024 New Jersey Real Estate Market Report for the Garden State MLS. Hey, if this is your first visit to the channel and you're looking to learn all about the New Jersey suburbs of New York City, then please consider joining our Subs of NYC community. We'd love to have you. Hi, I'm Jeff Massey, your local realtor here in the area. And if you're thinking about selling or buying in the next 7 days or 7 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email so we can help you make an easy, stress-free move in the New Jersey area. All right, so as I said, we're looking at the Garden State MLS New Jersey Market Report for March 2024. We're going to jump into the PDF that they provided us and give a little bit of commentary. Let's go. Here we are in the PDF from the Garden State MLS Market Report 2024 March. And what we're going to look at here is mainly, this first page is an overview of all the different typologies. So single family, townhouse, and adult community. We're going to mainly talk about single family in this video. And of course, if you're interested in townhouses, condos, or adult communities, feel free to pause it and take a look. You can kind of zoom in and take a look at what information is most valuable to you. But for the purpose of this, we're going to talk about single family to keep it moving quickly because you know how long-winded I am. Now, these first couple summary numbers are for everything combined. So we're seeing 17% year-on-year changed in closed transactions, and I think you'll see when we get into the single family that's even more. I think it's like close to 19. We'll see 16.7% change in all homes for sale, meaning just like on the market, and then 13.2% year-on-year change. So we're talking March 2023 to March 2024, 13.2% basically appreciation, if you will, for median sales price. So let's jump in. We'll look at single family predominantly here. All right, so new listings, we're looking at single family. We're talking about negative 12.5% compared to last March, and year to date just a little bit less than overall if we look at all the months combined for 2024 versus 2023. If we look at those first 3 months, so slightly off the pace when you look at the 3 months, but tremendously off the pace when we look at just March. If we clear this out and head over to pending sales not that bad. We're looking at down overall. We're down about 3.1% when you look at all 3 months combined, but about 1.8% when we look at just March. This is pending deals. And if we start to look at things that have actually closed, here's where the numbers really kick in. Down 17.6% for single family and 10.7% when we look at those first 3 months combined, again, year on year. So definitely a lot less moving through the system, but that's because there's just so much less inventory. As we're going to see these numbers, looking at median sales price, we're jumping over to less inventory, so less supply, more demand in terms of actual. I was talking about it with another investor person this morning. People are just out there. There's plenty of cash. There's also headlines that a lot of people just aren't even bothering with financing, that we're just seeing people buying with all cash, or they're buying with all cash and refinancing later. And so we're seeing, again, because of that low inventory, here we are, 17.8% overall for just March compared to the year before. And again, looking at those 3 months combined, 14.3%. So still very, very strong. You can just see that here in the numbers. So we're comparing this number here to the year before, which would be right about here. Or is it? Right about here somewhere. So that's that 17% growth. Average sales price, when you look at the previous slide was median. Look at this one, we're looking at average sales price. So median is when we're looking at kind of like the most common price point and how that's increasing or decreasing. When we look at the next slide, average, this is taking into account everything. So the lowest price point and the highest price point, mixing everything in together. So this one can be skewed slightly because essentially what happens is if there's a lot of homes that are lower value for that particular month versus less homes of higher value for that particular month, or vice versa, it could skew the numbers a little bit. So that's what we look at both of these to kind of get an indicator. And still overall, we're still seeing above a double digit situation. And that's 11.3 just for March, 11.9 when we look at all three. So the kind of the first quarter, if you will. So let's look at list price to sell price ratio. And again, 2.3% above the previous year and a 2.5 when we look at the quarter overall. But here's where you have to look at the nitty gritty. When we're looking at single family homes for March, 104% of asking price. So if it was asking $1 million, you're going to have to pay $1,040,000 to get the win. Now that's on average if you look at all the homes that sold. But the reality is when you look at specific towns, and a lot of the towns I talk about that are on that Midtown direct corridor, they're very sought after because they have really good commutes and they can get into the city. So a lot of high earners are getting on that train and going into the city and making multiples of what local people are making that don't commute. So keep that in mind. That percent is on the whole GSMLS. You've seen, and I keep saying this, check out my most expensive town video where I highlight that. And you can see, again, we talk about strategic pricing a lot, but certain areas, certain locations, we're seeing homes go, more than 4% all the way up to 10%, 15, sometimes 20% on average. And again, anecdotally, that can be even more different. So keep that in mind, that 104%, yes, you do have to be tight on your numbers, but we have to look at specific towns. And speaking about that, if you're interested in finding out the data specifically for places like Summit, Chatham, Maplewood, Milburn, Montclair, all these towns, again, that are on that Midtown direct corridor, check us out, reach out to us. I'd love to show you the hot sheets for each of those towns so you can see what those differences are. Again, if you want to just check it out in the video, go to that other one that I was mentioning. I'll link it above. But essentially, that, keep in mind, that's just an average. We're definitely having to really sharpen our numbers. And the competition is very, 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 used a lot of varies there, but you get the point. So let's clear this out and go on to the next page so we can keep on. So days on the market, again, this is where you're seeing that supply and demand imbalance really taking foot. We're looking at almost 20% less than the previous year. So we're looking at average 39. I'd say that's very skewed because that's taking into account every single listing that closed. And, if there was a listing on there that, took 100 days to close and another listing on there that took 7 days to close, I'm not talking about close, but under contract, there's a huge discrepancy there. So the properties that are more idealistic in terms of how people really want to live, those properties are going 7 days. And really that 7 days is from Wednesday to Wednesday and just getting that thing, you're doing a couple showings, getting offers in, and then it's under contract very quickly. So keep that in mind. That 39 days, that's the average. We're literally looking at much, much quicker times. And again, looking at those specific towns. I know I'm probably sounding like a broken record here. Housing affordability, as you can guess, down again because things are really, really expensive in this particular location, being so close to the city. Again, those high income earners, they're going to be drawing out much more cash flow that they can pull from to pay that higher debt to income ratio and afford more mortgage money. So let's again, you can pause and take a look at this, but really that is the situation here, again, with supply down. And here we are, inventory of homes for sale. You can see here we're looking at negative 18% just from this March to last March, and it's just tremendous. I mean, you can see the spikes here due to seasonality, but really the trend line is down and really a flattening here. I was thinking this was going to be a pop-up because just me seeing homes in my area, I really thought there was but that was just the spring really. I mean, you can see just a real flat line there. And this is going back all the way to 2010. So this graph really does illustrate that supply and demand imbalance with high appreciation and low inventory. It's just a structural situation that I think, aside from the mortgage rates, you can see it's just drop. Months of supply, not so bad. We're only looking at 5% down for single family. So not too bad. But when you compare that to the previous slide, it's not the greatest situation. All right, so this is the summary slide here. If you missed a couple of the points, if I was going too quickly, everything's here. Just pause it and you can take a look at all the data in one place. But that 19% that I mentioned earlier in the video, that's actually, if you look at the NJ, the entire New Jersey Association of Realtors, looking at all the data in the state. This is just Garden State MLS, so that 19% is for everything. It is, in fact, for single family for Garden State MLS, 17.6 down. Again, that's just March. If we compare the whole quarter, we're looking at 10.7, so not as bad, but still pretty bad when you think about it. That's really it. I mean, I keep saying it. I know this probably sounds like a bit of a repeat, but essentially low supply, which is trending down again compared to last year, March to March. And that appreciation is really just creeping up. So if you're a seller, you're probably thinking, hey, now's a great time to sell. If you're a buyer, you're probably thinking now's a bad time to buy. But the truth is, I think, and again, I keep saying this, when rates come down, and that when is a big if, because we saw a lot of data in the past couple weeks that have shown that the Fed is not interested in cutting rates yet. But longer term, if they do cut it, we're going to see tons of people piling into the market, and we're going to see even crazier bidding wars. So one example that I mentioned was one of the buyers. We had 17 offers on the property that we were trying to compete on. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. We were close, but we didn't get it. But 17 offers, think about that. Now, I'm guessing a bulk, 1/3 of those were probably closer to the asking price, so they probably never had a chance. But 17 offers, they really wanted to be in this particular location. So 16 of them, unfortunately, will not be getting in there. So my point is, when interest rates do come down, that's, again, the caveat on the when, but that 17 is going to become like 30 or 40, and we want to avoid that, right? So hopefully a little bit of inventory will pop up when rates come down, because people will feel like, okay, if I put my home on the market, I'll be able to find something else. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to be enough to really make up for it. If you look at that overall chart, the trend line here is only going back a couple of years. You saw in the other version, it's going back like 10 years, 15 years. It's still, very, very low. So that's before the interest rate situation. So that's the wrap. You saw the data. That's the March 2024 market report for the New Jersey Garden State MLS. And I hope you found it interesting and helpful. If you're interested in learning more or would like to have a free consultation, either as a buyer or a seller, please reach out to us. There's a link down below that you can click and schedule time to speak with me directly. I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you for letting me into your home today, and I hope that together we can help find your next one. In the meantime, we'll see you in the next video.